Welcome everyone to The How. My name is Jack Foster, and in this episode I sat down with Coach Rusniak from Boys Varsity Soccer to discuss. In this episode, we focus on a brief recap of the 2024 Varsity Boys Soccer season, and we're looking ahead to the postseason. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope you enjoy. Hello everyone, and welcome back to The How. My name is Jack Foster, and today I'm here with Coach Rusniak from the Varsity Boys Soccer. Today we are outside the Dispatch Podcast studio, and we're having a one-on-one. You're in these two chairs. Very comfortable. Coach Rusniak, how are you on this fine morning?
I'm doing well.
Very glad to have you in here. So just kind of get started, like an introduction to you, Coach Rusniak, as a coach. How long have you been coaching for?
This is my 16th year coaching on the boys side. And I coached every level up till I think 6 years ago is when I took over as the head coach. So I've been around for a while. Yeah, it's been great.
How long have you been at Hersey for?
I actually am not. I'm actually at the academy at Forest View. Oh. So, but yeah, coaching at Hersey for the last 16 years, boys and girls.
What kind of culture do you have, like as a coach? Like what kind of things do you preach to the boys?
I really emphasize, that more of developing the complete player, more of what they do outside of the field and the practices and the competitions, but to be, strong character, good leaders, good community members. I think that's first and foremost extremely important for us to emphasize all the time. If you can have that and you can build, a culture with a foundation of strong character and, to give back to the community and to be good citizens. I think that's it. The soccer stuff just naturally comes and they all work well hand in hand together. So.
Absolutely. And what's something you like about coaching?
I love the connections you make with kids. The thing that I love the most is I love watching kids grow from freshman to senior, but even within the season, I think, seeing kids develop and come into their own, I think is one of the coolest thing. And teams as a whole, we always preach, it's not where you start, it's where you finish. And constantly seeing that growth and that ability to evolve and adapt throughout their years, that's always the really, really neat stuff.
Absolutely. And what kind of emotions do you experience when you're coaching, whether it's on the game, during the games, or on the sidelines of practice?
I'm a pretty passionate individual. I love the game of soccer. I'm extremely competitive. I love coaching, but I really want to put everything in the right way for us to be in a good situation to win and to succeed. So. My hardest part of the job, but it's also my favorite part of the job, is to make sure that they have the best season every season. So I think that's really, the passion that I have is really caters toward that in everything that we do. So the sidelines, it's being next to, the players that are coming in and off the field and the other coaches. I mean, it's always really, really exciting and fun to be a part of any type of competition. As there's always so much going on that, time flies. Time goes really, really fast when you're on the sidelines and you're in a game and you realize, holy smokes, it's the second half and there's 10 minutes left. So I think that it makes it intense, but it makes it fun. So, yeah.
Absolutely. And now with this 2024 team, how have you been preparing this team, and what kind of things? And
this group has been really fun to coach because they're very close. Of course, you have brothers on the team with the Reyes brothers, but then I feel like they've really come into their own as a family. They had a great summer. Won the summer league. Just did a lot of worked extremely hard to get where we're at now. So they came in with some pretty big expectations of how well they would do, and they've lived up to that. I think that the seniors they've really worked extremely hard in getting the team as cohesive as possible. We have a lot of sophomores on our team that, getting them up to speed, but making them feel connected to the other players, I think has been really, really important. And those leaders, Nate Mabry and Ray Reyes and Adrian Smakowski, but also all the other seniors that aren't captains, they've also done a great job bringing kids up to speed and getting them to buy into what we try to do at Hershey Soccer and what we try to do as a team. So that's been really, really neat to watch too. I think when you can have solid leaders on a team, it makes a huge difference. I always say kids will, they don't want to listen to Coach Russo and I talk all the time. They respond better a lot of times to what their classmates or what their seniors say. So we're lucky. We're very fortunate to have the group that we do.
Yeah, and what kind of preseason prep did that take over the summer? I know you said there was a lot of success in the summer league. You guys won a lot of good things.
Yeah, we traditionally we've gone to a team camp, which is just a series of games in Iowa. It gets us a chance to play a bunch of different schools from all over, kind of the Midwest. I mean, we play teams from Iowa and teams from Southern Illinois, but also Missouri and whatnot. This year, unfortunately, we couldn't put it together. We had a lot of kids that were unavailable because their club seasons were still going on with playoffs. But we were in another tournament, and I think it really helped because we had so many new pieces. We had Jerry Kishak, who's brand new to the school last year. He came from Canada, and we have Akram, who I'm still trying to really learn his last name because it's a challenge. But he's a transfer student from GBS, and we had all these really great moving pieces. And then we had the kids that came up from JV1. So it was really important for us to get as much playing as we possibly could. So being in this, we were in another tournament and working, through where we're going to excel and what positions and tactics we can. But not only that, but the summer league's a great chance for us to kind of measure where we are and who can play in what position to be most effective. So there was a lot of preseason with that. But then summer camp, the kids did a phenomenal job, really taking it seriously and working extremely hard, to constantly improve and grow. But I feel like they did a lot of stuff in the off season before summer camp, whether it was, lifting or, playing with their clubs or doing individual skill work. They put in a lot of effort to make sure that the season started off, strong and that they were in a good spot. And I think also staying healthy and making sure that there was, the injuries weren't something that was going to hold us back as we went. So that a lot of that preseason stuff, really made a difference as the start of the season, just get acclimated with one another. But coming together as a team.
Absolutely. And how do you think a successful summer led into a successful season? Because by the looks of it, you guys are doing pretty well.
Yeah, summer sometimes it's, we always say that summer league to not take into, it's not the real thing in a lot of ways. I mean, there's, when you play teams, they sometimes want to have their true rosters, whether kids are playing in their club teams or they're on, on vacation or whatever. But we were able to, really fine-tune things. We had a solid core coming back, and then bringing in some new players and putting them in positions to see what was going to give us the best opportunity to succeed. I think that really, really helped. I think summer league, just getting a chance to play. You can only see so much in drills and when you're scrimmaging against your own team, but when you're able to play against other teams, you can evaluate where our strengths are, where we need to continue to develop and grow, and stuff that, and it's a credit to this group. They were so responsive and so incredibly coachable that any time that we were able to, build on something to improve, they took it, they took it to the extreme and worked extremely hard, So I think that set us up in a really great spot to be successful. And as much as it's like any team. If you can play together as much as possible prior to the season, that's going to make you, really cohesive, but also extremely competitive.
And this 2024 team, what are some of the games where you feel like that team has been cohesive and very together and just played fantastic soccer?
I think most of our games we've seen that. I think where it's taken to the next level of cohesion is we had a really good win at Elk Grove. As you know, and the mid-suburban East is, in soccer especially, is always competitive. Any given day, regardless of where standings are or who's had a stronger record, all those games are going to be tough. They're going to be intense, and I think the games that we've been in against Conant, although it was a tie and Elk Grove's win, but that's where you really see, like, I think and then most recently, we played Rolling Meadows on Tuesday and came out with a draw. I think that's when we really see how cohesive we are, because we were down a goal on Tuesday, and our kids really, they took that challenge and they ran with it. They really are a relentless group and don't quit. So I think that's where I've seen the most cohesion, and I think every game we get more and more cohesive. Which is great. I mean, especially moving into playoffs.
Absolutely. And obviously with the game with Meadows and Prospect, I know that's based off what I know from Hershey Soccer. That's a Cardinal Cup, and that's a huge matchup. I mean, it's been a big week against all Prospect sports in general. But what kind of hype is surrounding this game versus Prospect tonight?
This game's got a lot of implications. If we win, we would be in the conference championship this following Thursday, because it would put us 3 points. It would put us, ahead of Meadows with a tiebreaker, because we'd actually have the same amount of points, but we would have one more win than they would. And then it's also the final Cardinal Cup game, so it's kind of the winner takes all as far as that. And the Cardinal Cup does hold a lot of significance. It's been to win it every year is a huge goal that we strive for. It's not only bragging rights, but it's also it's neat that it's kind of a tournament within the season. And who doesn't love a really big trophy? That it's soccer players especially. I mean, some of the greatest trophies in the world. The World Cup is something that you always are trying to strive for. So it's going to be exciting. I think anytime Prospect and Hershey square off in any sort of game, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun, and it's going to be competitive. So if we bring our the game and the quality that I know we're able to play with, I think we will have a really good result at the end.
And I know last year you guys had some very tough, close losses to Prospect twice last year. Is that something that's still sitting in the mind of not only yourself, but most of the players who returned from last year?
Yeah, I mean, with such a big group of returners, having that, experiencing that not only once but twice, and the fashion or the way that we lost, from Prospect coming from behind both times, and I think the first game was our senior night, and they won the Cardinal Cup that night, and then they knocked us out of the playoffs. I think it's been circled on the calendar for a while. It's kind of been in the back of everybody's mind about that this game is holds even more of a value, just for the sheer fact that it's they were disappointed, and they kind of want to make things. They want to come out on top and make things right. So. We try to focus on every game as they come one at a time, and now it's today is the day we play Prospect. So I know the boys are extremely excited and happy that we have this chance to solidify if we are going to be our divisional champions.
And if you guys were to win tonight, how do you think that momentum would carry on into the further games into the season, and like you mentioned, the conference championship next Thursday?
I think it'll be it'll be amazing. I think it's something that we've worked extremely hard to get to this point. So you couldn't ask for a better momentum drive than to be able to play your rival, but also to get a result and move into the conference championship and all the excitement and the hype that comes with it. And this year the conference championship would actually is hosted on the East School, so it would be Hershey. So that also has a lot of excitement, and another great opportunity for us to really reach our goals and stuff that we had talked about preseason.
And if you guys were to face adversity, even like in this game tonight, or even in general, like how do you handle something where like some of the players are down and just adversity in general? How do you guys handle that?
I think what's been really neat about this group is that, they support one another extremely well on and off the field. A lot of, the adversity that we've faced, the leaders, the captains have done a good job keeping the team focused, but also supporting those players that, may be struggling or may have, been having a rough game. It's come a lot from them, which I think is really, really neat, and it's important, but at the same time, I think that's what makes this group special is that they're very resilient and that they rebound extremely well. They've got a short-term memory when it comes to some of the losses or, the things that haven't gone our way, and they really just build back and try to, put their best foot forward to the next. And I think that when you don't dwell on, setbacks or make the setback bigger than it needs to be, then you really are able to, move in a positive direction. And I think the leaders on this team have done a good job keeping these kids focused and the eye on the prize. So that's been awesome. Again, when it comes from the players themselves, I think it's more effective than when it's Coach Russo and I, talking to them about how to handle adversity and setbacks and whatnot. But overall, I think they, we really try to, stay within the moment and really take things as they come and not overthink or think ahead or, think about the past. We really try to stay, within what's currently in front of us. Because I think, in any sport, it's, with the season the way they are, you can get locked into, the setbacks, the losses that you had and how those will impact you later on, but also the challenges that you have to face. And this group has really been good about staying focused in the present moment, and I think that's helped. That's really helped get us over some setbacks and some adversity with injuries and things like that.
I like what I hear, and this is all I've got for today. I'm really excited for tonight. I'm really excited for you guys. You sound like you're leading a really great team. You sound like your culture's great, and it sounds like you really like this team. I think this team's very set for success, and that is it for today's show. Thank you, Coach Rusniak, for coming in tonight, or for coming in this morning. Really appreciate that. And thank you for our viewers for tuning in. And also thanks to our sponsor, Jets Pizza. They're right over there on Rand Road across the street. That will do it for today's episode. I'm Jack Foster, and on behalf of all the dispatch team, we don't have a producer for today's show, but I'd like to thank you all once more, and we'll see you on the next episode.